All right, so today we're going to be going over a few issues with a liquid damage MacBook Pro that's not turning on, and let's just take a look at it and see what's wrong with it. So first things first, we're going to open it up. First things first is the ant that just popped out of the drive. Oh my god, go away. Here, just go on the floor. Just get the fuck out of here. Okay, so that means that I'm probably going to find food inside this computer. It's the worst part of this job, man. The worst part of this job is the shit that people let inside of their stuff. This is why I wear gloves, by the way. Okay, what am I going to find in here? I'm dreading this already. I'm dreading this already. There's food in here. There's crumbs everywhere. Okay, let's take off from the whole motherboard repair thing for a moment for a little public service announcement. If you don't want insects to crawl inside your computer, don't eat over your fucking computer. Have your computer over here and then eat over here. I'm not going to say that I've never, I've never eaten around my computer. I eat around my computer all the time. But what I'll do is I'll have food here, computer here. Food here, computer there. And what I'll also try to do is I'll try to alternate with my hands. So for example, let's say I'm using the track point and the keyboard with the left hand, I'll make sure that only my right hand touches the food, or vice versa. You see, if you have your food over here and your computer over here, you're never going to have to worry about food getting in your computer. But what I see a lot of people do is they have their computer here and their food here, so that when they're making their way, the journey for the food to actually make the journey from the plate to their mouth, it has to go over the computer. This doesn't make sense because you're now risking it falling onto the computer. Whereas if you have your computer far away and your food close, now the worst possible thing that can happen is when you're typing. See, when you're typing, you're not actually picking up anything. So you're not going to worry about dropping something on your food. But when you have the food far away and the computer close, now you have to worry about dropping the food on the computer. So it makes a lot more sense to have the computer further away from you than the food. And I know that it may mean that you have to, enlarge the size of the text on the screen or up the volume, but I assure you it is worth it. If not for your own personal hygiene, it's worth it so that I don't put your computer on the bottom of the pile. Because when I see ants crawling out from the inside of a computer that has food inside of it, trust me, it's not the first thing that I work on. That being said, let's move on here. And uh-oh. Why? Why? Oh, man. Fucking bullshit. So, let's pick this up, and let's do a little bit of preliminary testing. So first thing that I'm going to do here is plug in the charger and see if it'll turn on. I plug in the charger, and it turns on. And it works. Now let's see what happens if I try to turn this off with the power button. So that it won't turn off with the power button, and it won't turn on with the power button. So here, the only problem is actually the power button. So in a lot of other branded laptops, here's another thing. When people say that I criticize Apple design unnecessarily, a lot of other laptops have the keyboard separate from the power button. The reason this is important is with an Apple laptop, if you get a drop of water or whatever the hell this person was drinking inside of your Z key, that actually affects your power button, which is all the way up here. It'll stop it from working. They're all a part of the same keyboard membrane. Whereas with a lot of other laptops, if you spill something on the keyboard, your keyboard may die. However, even if your keyboard dies, you still have the access to the power button. So you'll still be able to turn the laptop on. You'll still be able to plug in the USB keyboard and at least get your data off of it or finish your work or whatever it is that you were doing before you then get the laptop fixed either by the manufacturer or by an independent repair store. However, when you integrate the power button into the rest of the keyboard, what you do is you And the more you integrate, and particularly integrate unnecessarily, the more you're causing opportunity for failure. And here, SMC on-off L, which is what is actually going to turn the computer on and off, it's a signal that's always at 3.4 volts. When you lower it from 3.4 volts to 0 volts, it sends the signal to the SMC that says, I've hit the power button, turn on. It's on separate pins of the connector anyway. So it really, like, it wouldn't cost more than like an extra 2 fucking cents in the production of this device to have the power button routed separately to the keyboard connector and just have another flex cable or something there so that you would actually be able to turn it on independently of your keyboard working. Because again, I get destroying the keyboard with liquid damage, but do you really want to ruin the only method available of turning the device on to the end user just because of a liquid? Which, by the way, happens at almost every single laptop. People are never going to stop being careless. And companies like IBM realize this. Companies like IBM, Lenovo, they realized this years ago, so they decided to try to figure out how to liquid-proof their keyboards so that this stuff wouldn't happen anymore. And it still does happen to some extent, but you can spill liquid into an IBM keyboard, and I'm not going to say it's always going to work, but it's going to work a lot more often than these. And they even have drainage holes on the bottom, and they have tape over the motherboard, so the liquid never gets to the motherboard. It's just beautiful. I mean, you know why I don't do Lenovo ThinkPad repair videos? They don't break. But yeah, so this is another one. So I had a pile here. I mean, I had a pile of stuff that I was hoping to do board repair videos on, and every single one of them was not a board repair. One of them actually kind of was a board repair because it didn't work, and you saw it. I measured on the multimeter 50 kiloohms on current sensing where it was supposed to be 2 or 3, and then I removed the epoxy, which has absolutely nothing to do with that, and it worked. So it's pretty cool. It's kind of like a lucky day. I mean, it's 3 p.m. I mean, I guess I get to go home now. That's pretty cool. I haven't gone home at 3 o'clock since junior high school. Damn, wow. That's pretty cool. So that's it for today. Hope you learned something. And please, for the love of God, do not eat over your fucking laptop. It's disgusting. And it's just like, that's the thing. I mean, I will fix your board. I'll clean, and I even clean the casing of the computer a little bit before I give it back to you. But like, am I going to exterminate it? No. You got to pay me a whole nother set of money to deal with, like insects and ugh, fuck that.